Hey guys, Dr. Ko here from Reset Ketamine in Palm Springs, and wanted to share with you a few exercises that I've been studying from a branch of philosophy called Stoicism. The first one is called the view from above. So for a moment, picture yourself where you're sitting or standing right now, and imagine as if you're zooming out, and now you're floating above your head, and then going out even further, you're floating above the building that you're in, and then floating out, you're floating above the town or city that you live in, and then floating above that, you are now able to see the state or country that you're in, and then floating further out, higher and higher until you can see the earth, and then float out even further until earth is just a speck of dust. Now, how do you feel? Pretty small, pretty minuscule. And that's the point of this exercise. Sometimes when we are so sucked in to our own situation and our own state, we forget that we are simply one out of 7.5 billion people in the world, and we're just one planet amongst many galaxies and universes that exist out there. And it's nice to have a different perspective that's so focused on me and my own little world, and then shift and expand outward into more a global or universal picture. The second exercise is the exercise of setting expectations for the day. And there's a quote by Marcus Aurelius, and I want to read that quote to you. "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." So Marcus Aurelius is saying to us that when we go out there and face the world expecting the worst, ungrateful, meddling, jealous, all sorts of people, and expect that as the given and the way that the natural way of the world is, that we're not going to have these such high expectations for other people. And so if someone does something to disappoint us, it's not going to impact us as greatly. And also, he mentions this because he too himself has been all of these negative characteristics that he applies to other people. And you and I both know that there have been times when we've been ungrateful or jealous or meddling in other people's affairs. And so we too have that within our own nature. And once we recognize that it's common in other people and it's also inherent within us, when things don't go out the way we want it to, or the interactions don't work out the way we want it to, we can just say, hey, maybe this is just the natural way of a human being. The third exercise that I want to share with you about Stoicism is about negative visualization. So there's a lot of talk out there these days about positive visualization, like seeing the positive, the best outcomes. And I like that, and I agree with that. But sometimes it's also good to use the opposite of this, negative visualization. And so what I mean by this is imagining the worst case scenario of something that might happen. For example, you can say, hey, my dog got run over by a car. And just picture that for a moment. Oh my God, my poor dog, he got run over, and now he's at the vet. He may not make it. I might have to put him down. If you think about these negative things that could happen, it's going to make me appreciate much more of what I currently have. And so when we get used to certain things, whether that's the nice car, the house, the running water, air conditioning, we have this hedonic treadmill of adaptation that occurs, which is natural. So you'll buy the iPhone 10 and you love it. You're like, wow, this is so cool, I got the iPhone 10. And then 2 or 3 months later, it just becomes another phone. Until the iPhone 11 comes out. And you're like, oh my God, I want the iPhone 11. And then you get the iPhone 11. And then a couple months later, you become used to it. So it's important to visualize briefly 1 to 2 times, 3 times per week. Just kind of the negative things that could happen in your life whether that's losing your job, losing your spouse, losing a limb, losing your vision. Something that's like, oh my God, if that happened, it would be so terrible. Because when we do this, it'll help us appreciate what we currently have. And this is the antidote to that hedonic treadmill, negative visualization. So to summarize, there are 3 Stoic exercises. Number 1, the view from above. Number 2, setting the expectations. And number 3, negative visualization. So in addition to ketamine infusions, by simply switching your mindset and using these little tools, it can definitely add to your mental health, and it's just a nice tool to have in your back pocket as we face our challenges of depression, anxiety, or PTSD. I know it helps me a lot, so please let me know what you think about this and leave me a message or comment below.